Support comes from ServiceNow. We're for people doing the creative work they actually want to do. That's why this ad was written and read by a real person and not AI. You know what people don't want to do? Boring, busy work. Now with AI agents built into the ServiceNow platform, you can automate millions of repetitive tasks in every corner of your business, IT, HR, and more, so your people can focus on the work that they want to do. That's putting AI agents to work for people. It's your turn. Visit servicenow.com.
The Rush Hour with James Golden on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Yes, my friends, and welcome to the Thursday edition of Bo Snerdley's Rush Hour, the fastest hour in American media. Today, there was news. There's news every day, but today there was news. This is what it sounded like the moment that the smoke was seen at the Sistine Chapel. Yes, my friends, and the world would soon know who it was that had been selected. Cardinal Robert Prevost became the first American Pope today, now known as Pope Leo the 14th. Leo the 14th. I do know how to read my X's, I's, and V's. Yes. So, what do we know about the new Pope? Well, there was much to do. There is much to do about the fact that he was born in the United States of America, born in the USA. Known as the Latin Yankee, because he ministered to people south of the border in Peru for 20 years. So he's a Yankee. He's Latin, but he's still a Yankee. We also know that the new Pope is no stranger to social media. And ladies and gentlemen, he has views, apparently, things that have been retweeted that some of you might be concerned with. Things that seem to be a carry-on, perhaps, from the last pontiff. But in picking, this is the Washington Post, in picking the 69-year-old Prevost, the papal conclave in Rome looked past allegations that he had mishandled or failed to act on sexual abuse cases involving priests in both Peru and the United States. He was selected despite being an enigma to cardinals, especially to American cardinals, because he spent his life outside of the United States. Says John Morris, a theologian and former priest who has been in Rome to observe the transition as a Fox News contributor. Prevost's childhood deep in Chicago's South Side. Now, if you know about Chicago, like I know about Chicago, the South Side, well, let me put it like this. The South Side isn't the Gold Coast. There's the Gold Coast of Chicago, and there's the South Side. He grew up worshiping at St. Mary's of the Assumption Church on East 137th Street. Local media have reported that his father, of French and Italian ancestry, was an educator who served in the church as a catechist, and that his mother, of Spanish ancestry, was a librarian. Members of the clergy would come often to his family's home for his mom's tasty cooking, according to The Pillar, a Catholic media project. Now, in his youth, he served as an altar boy, went to the parish school, seminary high school, attended Villanova, graduated with a bachelor's in mathematics. This is one smart guy, by the way. He was ordained 5 years later, completed a doctorate in canon law at the Pontifical University of St. Thomas Aquinas in Rome. 2 decades later, he was serving for the next 2 decades in Peru. Missionary parish priest. He is fluent in English, Spanish, Portuguese, Italian, and French. Latin, I don't know whether he speaks Latin or not. I don't know. Do you speak Latin? No. Okay. Twice elected top leader of the centuries-old Order of St. Augustine. Or Augustine. Have your way. Its website describes the international order as living together in harmony, being of one mind and one heart on the way to God, calling nothing your own and living communally. Communal living. Yes, well, monks, after all. Then they go into details about the 2 allegations of sexual, how shall we say, matters. First case, 25 years ago, he led the Augustine province of Chicago. A priest who church leaders found had sexually abused minors was allowed to stay at an Augustine monastery near a Catholic elementary school. Excuse me. The Vatican has denied that Prevost ever authorized that arrangement. More recently, questions were raised about his knowledge of abuse allegations in the Chiclayo diocese during his tenure as a bishop. 2 priests there were accused of molesting 3 young girls. And a complaint this year by the Survivors Network of Those Abused by Priests, SNAP, alleged that Prevost failed to open an investigation and that he sent inadequate information about this to Rome. The Vatican again denies that he did anything wrong, given, yeah. Anyway, he has an extensive history that is being looked at. Some of the, we'll learn more about him in the coming days. Headlined from, The Hill. New Pope previously shared criticism of Trump administration on social media. Well, isn't that interesting? Cardinal Robert Prevost, who became the first American Pope, on Thursday frequently used social media to subtly push back on the Trump administration and its policies. A review of his previous post on the social media platform X shows Prevost, now known as Pope Leo XIV, shared columns that disputed Vice President Vance's interpretation of Christian Ordo Amores, ranking orders of love, in February, linked to an article that lambasted Trump's anti-immigrant rhetoric as dangerous in 2015, and he reposted messages against the death penalty, migrant deportations, and Congress's inaction on gun laws after deadly shootings. He discussed his approach to and careful use of social media in 2023. In an interview with the Vatican News Service, social media can be an important tool to communicate the gospel message, reaching millions of people at the same time, he says. The world today, which is constantly changing, presents situations where we really have to think several times before speaking or writing a message on Twitter in order to answer or even just to ask questions in a public forum in full view of everyone. Sometimes there is a risk of fueling divisions and controversy. Well, new Pope previously shared criticism of Trump administration. Daily Mail today. Breaking news. New Pope Robert Prevost tweets about Trump and J.D. Vance resurface and reveal exactly what he thinks of MAGA. The new Pope may be American, but he's no fan of President Donald Trump, according to his social media post. Chicago-born Cardinal Robert Prevost was elected as the first American Pope, becoming the religious leader of Catholics across the globe. His last retweet of April 14th slams the Trump administration's deportation of undocumented migrant and Maryland resident. That should be Maryland father. Maryland resident Kilmar Abrego Garcia to El Salvador. Say what? Kilmar Abrego Garcia, MS-13, apparently has fans. The Post reads, get ready for this. Please, just get ready. Okay. The Post reads, do you not see the suffering? Is your conscience not disturbed? How can you stay quiet? About what? About the fact that Trump deported Kilmar Abrego Garcia to El Salvador. That's what. What do you think he's asking? Do you not see the suffering? Who do you think he was talking about? Of the wife that was beaten in her head? No. Of the people that have been victimized by MS-13? No. The suffering of the Maryland father, Kilmar Abrego Garcia. Do you not see the suffering? Is your conscience not disturbed? How can you stay quiet? James Golden, Bo Snerdley's Rush Hour. Do not go away.
The Rush Hour with James Golden on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Faraday presenta Ojos con Alergia y Picazón contra el Jardinero. Y el ganador es Faraday Extra Fuerte. Para aliviar la picazón de los ojos por alergia, actúa más rápido y supera a Claritin y Flonase aún a las 24 horas. Faraday, adelante.
This episode is brought to you by Principles. Ray Dalio, legendary investor and New York Times best-selling author, wants to pass along his understanding of how countries go broke, because he believes the U.S. budget and debt situation needs to be addressed. To give you that knowledge, he has put the draft of his book, How Countries Go Broke, The Big Cycle, online for free. It's available now at economicprinciples.org.
That moment when you realize your skincare is actually working. That's Rodan & Fields, the #1 female dermatologist-founded skincare brand in the U.S. Designed by 2 dermatologists who don't just know women's skin, they know how to formulate for it. Rodan & Fields, love what you see. Tap the banner or visit rodanandfields.com/Spotify to get your exclusive welcome offer.
Subtle results, still you, but with fewer lines. Botox Cosmetic, onabotulinum toxin A, is a prescription medicine used to temporarily make moderate to severe frown lines, crow's feet, and forehead lines look better in adults.
Effects of Botox Cosmetic may spread hours to weeks after injection, causing serious symptoms. Alert your doctor right away as difficulty swallowing, speaking, breathing, eye problems, or muscle weakness may be a sign of a life-threatening condition. Patients with these conditions before injection are at highest risk. Don't receive Botox Cosmetic if you have a skin infection. Side effects may include allergic reactions, injection site pain, headache, eyebrow and eyelid drooping, and eyelid swelling. Allergic reactions can include rash, welts, asthma symptoms, and dizziness. Tell your doctor about medical history, muscle or nerve conditions including ALS or Lou Gehrig's disease, myasthenia gravis, or Lambert-Eaton syndrome, and medications, including botulinum toxins, as these may increase the risk of serious side effects. For full safety information, visit BotoxCosmetic.com or call 877-351-0300.
See for yourself at BotoxCosmetic.com.
The Rush Hour with James Golden on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
So it's been more than a month, if you can believe it, since Donald Trump announced his sweeping and pretty ridiculous tariffs. But Mr. Art of the Deal, as he calls himself, has not yet struck a single trade deal, not a single one, with any single country.
Yeah. She was having a late night fantasy on TV. Only hours later, it was announced. First major trade deal with the United Kingdom. Of course, that was Jen Psaki. With the anti-Trump rhetoric that is part of and parcel of the coverage on PMSNBC. I'm getting a lot of reaction. This, of course, the fastest hour in American media, getting a lot of reaction to the comments and me retelling what's in the news about the new Pope. One of them, broadcast engineer Supremo, Mr. Mike, asked, can we slap a tariff on the Vatican? I love that. The Countess of Conspiracy has waited, and I don't know what this means. It's rather cryptic. It says, oh no, not one of those. And I don't know as to what she might be talking about, those little paragraphs in there about the suspicions, the accusations that are being raised in some quarters. But I'm not touching that with a 10-foot pole. Not going there. The mayor of Chicago, Brandon Johnson, had a reaction. He said everything dope, including the Pope, comes from Chicago. Congratulations to the first American Pope, Leo XIV. We hope to welcome you back home soon. If you dare, make sure that you can bring those Swiss guards with you, because if you are planning on going to the south side of Chicago, dear Pope, it ain't what it used to be. Might be safer in El Salvador. Hint, hint. President Obama congratulates the new Pope. This is a historic day for the United States. Michelle and I sent our congratulations to a fellow Chicagoan, His Holiness Pope Leo XIV. This is a historic day for the United States. We will pray for him as he begins the sacred work of leading the Catholic Church and setting an example for so many, regardless of faith. James Golden, Snerdley. We continue.
The Rush Hour with James Golden on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Impact confirmed. The Slayer has been activated.
Demonic threat level increasing.
Hold the line!
All the power of hell cowering before one man.
id Software presents Doom: The Dark Ages. Available May 15th on Xbox Series X and S, PlayStation 5, and PC. Pre-order now.
Rated M for mature.
Home means something different to everyone. But with Rocket Mortgage, home can mean even more. It can mean a college education, taming your high-interest debt, even a renovation. We've made it easier than ever to use your home equity. That home you worked so hard for? Now it can work hard for you. Call 800-4ROCKET or visit rocket.com to find out more.
Rocket Mortgage, LLC, licensed in all 50 states, and MLSConsumerAccess.org, number 3030.
At Sephora, we've got what you want because you're obsessed with your skin, and we're obsessed with what it needs. Sephora has the best products to help you get beautiful, glowing, radiant skin. With an extensive, inclusive range of results-driven formulas and in-store beauty advisors to help you find exactly which are right for you, the best skincare is only at Sephora. Sephora, for all your skincare.
5 immersive worlds, 1 amazing theme park. Get ready to explore the all-new Universal Epic Universe, featuring the wizarding world of Harry Potter, Ministry of Magic, Super Nintendo World, How to Train Your Dragon, Isle of Berk, and Dark Universe. Epic Universe opens May 22nd at Universal Orlando Resort. Our universe will never be the same. Tickets and packages on sale now at universalorlando.com.
The Rush Hour with James Golden on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
All the projects, the benefits. How do you lead the world without having the best infrastructure in the world? How do you lead the world without having the best healthcare in the world? How do you lead the world without having the best education system in the world? How do you lead the world when you don't have that done?
That was Joe Biden doing The View. Oh, yes. Happy birthday today. James Golden, Snerdley with you. This quick aside, yes, we got Joe Biden there on The View. This quick aside, there are several GOP, too, mentioned representatives who are urging in the new bill that's coming up, the new tax bill, 2 Republicans are urging, reportedly opposing efforts to defund Planned Parenthood. In other words, there are 2 Republicans advocating for money to be sent to the abortion mill, the genocide mill, Planned Parenthood. Moderate GOP lawmakers, including Republicans Brian Fitzpatrick of Pennsylvania and Mike Lawler of New York, are urging House leadership in a meeting behind closed doors last night to refrain from inserting language that would ban federal funding to Planned Parenthood. Protectors of Planned Parenthood. Kill the children while you can. Let's see. Then we have, all right, Joe Biden. Let's just get this out of the way. Cut 10 really quickly on The View today. Here's Joe.
And it was like 2016 all over again. Yeah. So why do you think the vice president lost, and were you surprised?
I wasn't surprised, not because I didn't think the vice president was the most qualified person to be president. She is. She's qualified to be president of the United States of America. Right. But I was surprised. I wasn't surprised because they went the route of the sexist route, the whole route. I mean, this is a woman, she's this, she's that. I've never seen quite a successful and a consistent campaign undercutting the notion that a woman couldn't lead the country, and a woman of mixed race.
So, bottom line, you're a bunch of racists and sexists. That's how come Kamala's not president. Oh, how exciting that is. Okay, now, he was asked about his cognitive decline. That's cut 11. Here's this.
Yeah. Mr. President, since you left office, there have been a number of books that have come out, deeply sourced from Democratic sources, that claim in your final year there was a dramatic decline in your cognitive abilities in the final year of your presidency. What is your response to these allegations, or are these sources wrong?
They are wrong. There's nothing to sustain that, number one. Number two, think of what we were left with. We were left with a circumstance where we had an insurrection when I started. Not since the Civil War. We had a circumstance where we were in a position that the pandemic, because of the incompetence of the last outfit, end up over 1 million people dying. And we're also in a situation where we found ourselves unable to deal with a lot of just basic issues, which I won't go into. So we went to work, and we got it done. And one of the things that and
Alyssa,
I'm talking too long. I can't finish my thought.
The people who wrote those books,
thank you. Enough of that. I guess there was no cognitive decline. He was also asked if he thinks he could have beat Donald Trump. That would be 13, and of course.
Mr. President, you had previously said that you thought that you would have won. Since then, Donald Trump won all the battleground states and made inroads with almost every major demographic, from working class voters to Hispanic men to black men. Knowing what you know now, do you think you would have beat him?
Yeah, he still got 7 million fewer votes.
Yes.
Okay. A lot of people didn't show up. Number one. Number two, they're very close in those toss-up states. It was it wasn't a slam dunk,
it wasn't a slam dunk. He won all this.
Every time I've been on the show, which I've been fortunate to be on.
You've been fortunate. I've been fortunate. We've all been fortunate.
Is that we talk? You guys don't focus on as much, and I think it's good on polling numbers, but polling
numbers. That's what the word is. Polling numbers.
The worst 100 days any president's ever had.
Yeah.
He's had the worst 100 days? Are you kidding me? And he gets applause?
And I would not say...
the worst 100 days? Our borders are completely closed. He reversed that. He's got trade deals going. This is oh my God. Okay, anyway, that's The View. And yes, only their audience will cut. Okay, let's remember something we played early in the week. Cut 9. We played this, I think it was last week, or in the last week, early this week. It was Ilhan Omar. And here's Ilhan.
I would say our country should be more of white men across our country, because they are actually causing most of the deaths within this country. And so if fear was the driving force of policies to keep Americans safe inside of this country, we should be profiling, monitoring, and creating policies to fight the radicalization of white men.
Okay, so white men are the problem. A white man decided he didn't like that answer. You will recognize his voice. My friends, those of you familiar with politics, that'll be cut 8. And I think he took umbrage with this. And so let's listen to
Ilhan Omar says that white men are responsible for most of the deaths in the United States. So let me get this straight. 69% of the people, I'm stuck on that number, I don't know, but 69% of the people are going to vote are white. Of that, 48.5 are males. So, I don't know, my rough math is 33%. Let's go out and piss off 33% of the people that vote, and that's a smart strategy. And the people that agree with her. There are people that actually agree with her. And I think these, honestly, I think these people are more trouble than they're worth.
But you could have just hold on.
In another interview, Carville has called for her to be thrown out of the Democrat Party. Okay, you heard Jen Psaki saying that there's no trade deal. We know that there's a trade deal with the UK. Cut 17. Donald Trump was in the White House talking about it today.
I want to speak to that, Mr. Ambassador.
With you, an UK ambassador.
The point about the deal is that we will continue reducing tariffs and non-tariff barriers. This is a continuing picture. It's a movie. It's not a still picture here. It's a movie. Yeah. It continues. And we're both committed to freeing up trade between our countries. We're both committed to freeing up investment between our countries. And the point about this deal is that it provides a very good template and a very good launch pad for what we can continue to do and build on in the future. And that's what we're both determined to do.
Many of... Love it, love it, love it. Okay, next thing up on the fastest hour in American media. John Roberts speaking in hometown Buffalo, New York. Cut 14, the Supreme Court chief rarely makes a speech, so this got some attention, and this is John Roberts' last night in Buffalo.
In our Constitution, judges and the judiciary is a co-equal branch of government, separate from the others, with the authority to interpret the Constitution as law and strike down, obviously, acts of Congress or acts of the president. And that innovation doesn't work if it's not, the judiciary is not independent. Its job is to obviously decide cases, but in the course of that, check the excesses of Congress or of the executive, and that does require a degree of independence.
And that is seemed to be, in his remarks last night, was seemed to be calling out the Trump administration. Yeah, well, I think that the executive needs to actually do a speech one day and talk about what his role is in checking these courts, especially these district courts. We shall see. By the way, Donald Trump today has asked the Supreme Court to authorize him getting rid of this phony program that allowed 500,000 pretty much unvetted illegal immigrants into the country. We will see how the Supreme Court interprets that. Next up, Bernie Sanders. A beautiful question from Brett Baer with an interview with Bernie. And here's Brett, the Brett and Bernie segment.
You know, Alyssa Slotkin, senator from Michigan, she said you shouldn't be using oligarch. It's over people's head. You've gotten criticized from other people. Free Beacon says Bernie Sanders spent $221,000 on private jets fighting the oligarchy tour, paid for by friends of Bernie Sanders. That we've spent millions of dollars in campaign funds on private jet travel over the years. How do you push back on both of those things?
When's the last time you saw Donald Trump during a campaign mode at National Airport?
No. It doesn't. But he's also not fighting the oligarchy.
No. You run a campaign and you do 3 or 4 or 5 rallies in a week. The only way you can get around to talk to 30,000 people. Think I'm going to be sitting on a waiting line at United, waiting, 30,000 people are waiting? That's the only way you can get around. No apologies for that. That's what campaign travel is about. We've done it in the past. We're going to do it in the future.
Well, you think I'm going to be in there with the peasants? You think I'm going to be in there with the peasants waiting around for a plane in Chicago O'Hare? No. I'm flying private, and I ain't making no excuses for it. Yeah, down with the oligarchy, down with the billionaires. I happen to be one, not down with me, but you notice the first thing they do. What about Trump? What about Trump? It's not running against the oligarchy. Oh, well, you think I'm going to be sitting around there in O'Hare? You think I'm going to be sitting around waiting for an American Airlines? What has he got against American Airlines? Is it the word American that bothers him? You think I'm going to be sitting around waiting for an American Airlines flight, flying with the riff-raff? Me and John Kerry and the rest of us, we rich. And yeah, we don't like rich people, but we rich. And we ain't flying with you peasants. Damn you. Why are you asking me about that anyway? Down with the oligarchs. The oligarchs did it. Oligarch. James Golden, Snerdley. Fighting the oligarchs. In first class. Private seating only for your private planes. Keep it right there. More to come. Don't go away.
The Rush Hour with James Golden on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Shopping is hard.
I can never find anything in my size.
I don't even know my size.
I buy my clothes the same place I buy my groceries.
There's a better way. Make it easy with Stitch Fix. Just share your size, style, budget, and done. Your personal stylist sends pieces picked just for you.
That was easy.
Stitch Fix. Online personal styling for everyone. Free shipping and returns. No subscription required. Get started today at StitchFix.com.
In golf, precision is everything, on and off the course.
PGA of America chose advanced 5G solutions from T-Mobile for Business for smooth operations and seamless transactions. Together, we enhance ticketing and concessions for better fan experiences from gate to green. This is pro-level efficiency. This is PGA of America with T-Mobile for Business. Take your business further at T-Mobile.com/now.
This episode is brought to you by Netflix. 3 couples, 4 vacations, a lot to unpack. Watch The 4 Seasons, a new series starring comedy favorites Tina Fey, Steve Carell, Will Forte, Coleman Domingo, and more in a hilarious and heartfelt love letter to long-term relationships. Based on the original Alan Alda film. Watch The 4 Seasons, streaming now only on Netflix.
Morning decisions. A creamy mocha frappuccino drink? A sweet vanilla? Maybe a smooth caramel? Or that white chocolate mocha? Whichever you choose, delicious coffee awaits. Start your day with bottled Starbucks Frappuccino drinks. Pick up a bottle near you wherever you buy your groceries.
The Rush Hour with James Golden on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, a word from the Center for Congressional Embarrassment.
Miss Gosgraves, I want to play a game. It's called Trump or Trans. You ready? Okay. So I'm going to ask you a question, and I want you to tell me whether or not it is Trump or trans people that are responsible. You understand?
Got it.
Okay, very good. The first one, gutted medical research.
Trump.
Kidnapping Americans and sending them to foreign countries, a.k.a. deporting them.
Trump.
Driving us into a recession.
Trump.
Increasing the cost of everything.
Trump.
Waging an idiotic tariff war.
Trump.
Harming farmers.
Trump.
Ignoring the Constitution.
Trump.
Proposing to take away Social Security.
Trump.
Cutting health care.
Trump.
Firing government workers who keep our country safe.
Trump.
Encouraging an environment of hate and divisiveness.
Trump.
Thank you so much. This committee could be engaged in actual oversight of fraud, waste, abuse, and mismanagement. So let's talk about waste. Like Trump's plan to spend almost $100 million for his little birthday parade.
That parade she's talking about is honoring America's 250th birthday that she and other Democrats find so repulsive. James Golden. Snerdley. Very quickly, Kash Patel has been at hearings all day. The Democrats have tried their best to nail him. I've got 2 examples. We have time for one. Let's play Senator Patty Murray with Kash Patel, cut 6. And this is how that went.
Gang cases, 3,000 cases against violent
Well, that's not my question. We know that you...
Well, you asked if I was weaponizing the FBI, and I am not. I'm giving you the hard, concrete examples of the men and women putting handcuffs on bad people, doing harm to our children and innocent Americans. I do not see weaponization.
But you have placed on leave FBI employees responsible for the investigation of January 6th. That sounds political to me.
I have not placed anyone on leave who has not violated their ethical obligation or their oath to the Constitution.
So if they were investigating January 6th, you believe they were violating an ethical obligation?
Nope. I think the common theme here is you putting words in my mouth, and I'm not going to tolerate it, nor will the men and women of the FBI.
Well, you did place on leave an analyst responsible for investigating Russia's meddling in the 2016 election. Is that politicization? Is that retribution?
No, not if she broke the law or the ethical guidelines. I don't know which case you're talking about, but that's the standard. And we will hold ourselves inwardly accountable, and we will not be strayed from our mission because people think we are politicizing the Bureau. If you want to talk about someone who was attacked by a weaponized Bureau, you're looking at him. And now he's the director of the FBI, and he's cleaning it up.
Well, I would just say to everyone who's listening that the FBI needs to be focused on its mission to keep the entire country safe. It should not be weaponized for partisan political gain. Thank you,
We are.
Chairman.
Yeah, and also that same ran concurrent with another senator. Let's see, it was Madeline Dean out of it was in the House. She testified before the House too, with Representative Madeline Dean. That thing runs over 2 minutes, so I'm not going to give it today. But it was the same beatdown that the FBI is being weaponized, and Kash Patel has the answer for all that. He's like, you want to know when it was weaponized? When they came after people like me. And yes, we are cleaning it up now. Now is when we clean up all the dirt that the Biden administration and the Obama administration before that did through their embedded partisan hacks. Well, already it's time that we depart. This is American media's fastest hour. Yes, the fastest hour in American media, and it is coming to a close another day. May God bless, protect each and every single one of you, your families, your loved ones. Love and gratitude for your being here with me, allowing me to be with you. God willing, back tomorrow for the Friday edition. Until then, I bid you adieu. Bye.
Thanks for listening to Bo Snerdley's Rush Hour. You can hear Bo Snerdley's Rush Hour weekdays at 4 on 77 WABC. If you like the podcast, share it with your friends and listen anytime at WABCRadio.com and download the WABC Radio app. Hit that subscribe button on all major podcast platforms. Plus, follow WABC on social on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and X. See you next time for a new episode so you never have to wonder.
What the heck is going on here?